Welcome to RPG TV. I am RPG, and this is the Daily Debacle. So, swimmer Riley Gaines slams ESPN for honoring arrogant cheat trans athlete Lia Thomas in Women's History Month special, as Thomas denies she transitioned to win and says, "I didn't have any other choice." Riley Gaines, a former University of Kentucky swimmer who ended her college career in 2022 as a champion, spoke out Sunday against Lia Thomas. Lia Thomas, who swam for the University of Pennsylvania until graduating in 2022, smashed records in her final season. ESPN paid tribute to Thomas, who began transitioning in May 2019 and swam for the women's team in 2021. Gaines said ESPN's tribute was not warranted. ESPN has been condemned by a former champion college swimmer for including transgender swimmer Lia Thomas in their segment devoted to Women's History Month, describing the company as spineless. Riley Gaines swam for the University of Kentucky, ending her college career in 2022 as one of the most decorated swimmers in the program or the program history, according to the UK website. She became a 12-time NCAA All-American swimmer and a 5-time SEC champion. Gaines competed against transgender University of Pennsylvania swimmer Lia Thomas in the NCAA championships in March 2022, and said the experience of racing Thomas was who raced in a men's competition until 2019, felt like I was going into the race with my hands tied behind my back. That's a big dude. Let's see the ESPN. So I'm guessing this is the video that ESPN had broadcasted to celebrate Women's History Month, featuring Lia Thomas.
In 2022, swimmer Lia Thomas became the first transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I championship by winning the 500 freestyle. The Texas native competed for 3 seasons on the men's swim team at the University of Pennsylvania. She began her transition after her sophomore season, and after a gap year due to the pandemic that forced the Ivy League to cancel all sports. Thomas made her debut as a member of the women's team in December 2021.
Being trans is not a choice. I didn't have any other choice because not transitioning was not leading me anywhere.
Did you just say being trans was not a choice? Word.
She competed amidst criticism from the swimming community, competitors, and teammates. She said she hopes her persistence serves a larger purpose.
People will say, oh, she just transitioned, so she would have an advantage, so she could win. I transitioned to be happy.
Transition to be happy. Lia Thomas is not brave. Lia Thomas is not a brave, courageous woman who earned a national title, Gaines tweeted. He is an arrogant cheat who stole a national title from a hard-working, deserving woman. The NCAA is responsible. If I was a woman working at ESPN, I would walk out. You're spineless, ESPN. ESPN's segment was titled Celebrating Women's History Month. A voiceover explained, and as we just played the video for you all, a voiceover explained how Thomas made history by becoming the first transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I championship in 2022 in the 500 freestyle. The Texan-born athlete swam in men's competitions until beginning their transition in May 2019. And made her debut in the women's races in December 2021. Being trans is not a choice, said Thomas. I didn't have any other choice because not transitioning was not getting me anywhere. People will say, oh, she just transitioned so she would have an advantage so she could win. I transitioned to be happy. DailyMail.com has contacted both ESPN and Thomas representatives and is yet to hear back. And here are some images of the brother. And that is the young Gaines Says she's seen at a rally in January this year outside of the NCAA convention in San Antonio. Now let's see, is this a video? Speaker Kevin McCarthy welcomes swimmer Riley Gaines. Okay, let's see what this video is talking about here.
So my name is Riley Gaines. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Kentucky, where I was on the swim team. I actually finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American. I'm an SEC record holder. I'm one of the fastest 200 butterflyers of all time, which is an accomplishment I'm super proud of. But this past year, my senior year, we were forced to compete against biological male. A lot of you guys might have heard the name Lia Thomas. So we as female athletes sat on the side of the pool deck watching that first day as Thomas beat out American record holders, Olympians, the most impressive female swimmers in the country to win a national title, when just the year before was ranking in the 400s as the male at best. That next day, the second day of our NCAA championships, Thomas and I raced in the 200 freestyle, and impossibly enough, it seems, we tied. We went the exact same time down to the 100th of a second, which is pretty rare to do in swimming, and now looking back, I realize it's totally a God thing. But anyways, we go behind the awards podium where they give you these little dinky trophies and you walk out in front of everyone. But we go back there and the official looks at me and says, "Great job, you and Lia tied. We only have one trophy. It's going to go to Lia." So I look at him and I question him and I'm like, "Okay, I understand you don't necessarily account for ties, but can I ask you, why is this trophy going to Lia? Why are you so adamant?" And I could tell he wasn't prepared to be questioned. They hadn't been questioned up until this point, so clearly they hadn't prepared. But he looked at me and said, "Well, Lia has to have the trophy for photo purposes. We will eventually mail you one, but you will go home empty-handed."
Wow, it sounds agenda-driven to me. I mean, damn. That sounds completely agenda-driven to me. They knew that Lia Thomas wasn't a biological female. All the hard work those young ladies, especially Miss Riley Gaines, put in to even to have to tie with a biological male in a swim race is an incredible feat. And for them to say that Lia Thomas is going to walk away with the trophy because of photo purposes sounds like an agenda-driven purpose to me. But I said it in a earlier podcast that, you know, a lot of women, y'all got to take a little bit of accountability for this, because this is what happens when you are protesting on behalf of this person. And of course, I'm not speaking on behalf of Riley Gaines. Of course, I think the female athletes see it. The women today that call themselves feminists, I don't think they see it. They're just all inclusive for some odd reason. But where are the feminists at when you're being cheated out of what's rightly yours? Quiet in the church? Yeah. Big shout out to Riley Gaines, man, for standing up for what's right. Thomas competing as a woman was highly controversial. Thomas's competing as a woman was highly controversial. The swimmer had been hoping, after graduating, to try for the Paris 2024 Olympics, but that is now looking unlikely given new rules requiring trans athletes to have transitioned before the age of 12 by June 2022. Gaines, who studied public health and is now beginning dental school, has become one of the most outspoken advocates against trans women in sports. Whether they have different lung capacity, their height, testosterone levels, whether they've used testosterone blockers or not, it doesn't suppress going through puberty as a male, especially Lia, who swam for 3 years as a male, Gaines told Fox News' Tucker Carlson in April 2022. Lia Thomas has shown extreme selfishness and a major lack of awareness, and just an utter disregard for women. Gaines said Thomas's participation in women's collegiate swimming is a part of a wider problem in society. We're watching the denial of the most basic truth, she said. When you can't acknowledge what a woman is, there's a huge problem. This is deeper than just sports. This is a systematic erasure of what a woman is.